Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are joining me for the first time, my name is Melissa Reed and I am a mixed media artist from southwestern Pennsylvania. Today I am working with some more of the acrylic ink and I have one of my 6" by 12" cradled boards that I have primed with gesso. And I'm doing a technique that I kind of accidentally did on another piece the other day, and I thought, well, if I did this on purpose, it might look pretty cool. So what I had there is a piece of crumpled up tissue paper, and I'm just wetting the surface, and I'm spreading some of my acrylic ink. That is Daler-Rowney's Payne's Gray that I have mixed with a little bit of water and also the same brand of Red Earth. And I have plenty of water on the board there. I'm just swirling everything around to get some colors down. I want to make sure I have enough ink because unlike what I typically do, which is do a background directly on the board, I'm going to lay down my crumpled up tissue paper and I am going to make that serve as a tool to create texture. So my plan for this is to use the binders in the ink to adhere the tissue paper directly to the surface of this board. And I'm not going to rely on that alone. I'm also going to affix it down, and I'll show you that in just a moment. But what I'm doing now is just spreading around that ink and really making sure that the tissue is sitting flat on the surface. I'm adding more ink and more water in places where I think it needs it just to get a nice background. I love those two colors together. Honestly, Payne's Gray is one of my absolute favorite colors in everything. It really just sets the kind of mood that I often like in my piece. And this, because I have it thinned down with a little bit of water, you can see how it's really just following along the lines of that tissue paper there and just creating these really wonderful textures. Now you can see in a couple places there I have chunks of tissue missing where it ripped because, I mean, it's wet tissue paper, so that's a thing that happened, but I'm not worried about that because we're going to do more work with it. So once I let that dry just a little bit, I have some of my Liquitex matte gel medium that I'm laying down over the top, and that's how I'm going to make sure that this is really good and stuck down there. I can't just rely on the binders from the acrylic inks. It would stick down to a point, but not completely. And as you know, if you've done any collage at all, you really want to make sure that all of the pieces are adhered to the surface that you're working on. I took the opportunity while the tissue paper was wet, since it is so thin, just to go ahead and tear off all of the side pieces there that I knew I wasn't going to want. I definitely could have waited till everything dried and turned it onto my cutting board and done that with an X-Acto knife, but I didn't have to because it was wet and easily came off very neatly right there doing it this way. When I tore that off, I just went ahead and went around the edges a little bit there with some more of the matte medium just to make sure everything is down good and tight on there. Anytime you have an edge, that's of course a weak point, and especially since I just tore it off of there and didn't use a straight, excuse me, a straight edge and a blade, I wanted to make sure that that was really down tight. So I forgot to hit record at the very beginning of this segment that I'm doing now, but what I did was spray it, once everything dried, I sprayed it down again with a little bit of water in certain places and started adding some more of the acrylic ink in Indian yellow. And the color that that made over top of the Payne's Gray and the Red Earth is just so gorgeous. I love that yellow color. This is a color combination that I will definitely be using in the future. Specifically, the Payne's Gray and that Indian yellow together, just absolutely love them. So I just spread that around and let everything dry. Okay, so you may remember this leaf print from a short that I did about a year ago, and if you don't, I'll put that at the end so you can check it out and see how I made that. It's just a print that I did on the Gelli plate, and that is also done on tissue paper. So I went ahead and cut out around there pretty close up to the end of the design, although it doesn't necessarily matter because it is on tissue, so that'll just melt right into the background. I'm going to cut the leaf in half because I had the idea of setting it up just like that there, and I'm going to play around with some different orientations and decide what I like. But just to make it a little bit different, I've used this same leaf print and a few other pieces, and I can put one or two of those up for you at the end too, in case you haven't seen them. But I wanted to do something a little bit different with it on here. And so I'm going to just get that glued down now, and I'm using some more matte medium there. What I had before in the bottle, that was just a more liquid version. This is more of like a paste. Either one is just fine. It just happened to be what I had on hand. So I laid a layer of the matte medium down first, and then laid down the leaf and put another on top. Because there is all of that tissue paper texture underneath, I really wanted to make sure to have enough on there so that it was going to really catch all of the pieces of that print and make sure that that was adhered down really well. I tried as best as I could with a card to smooth it over, which really wasn't working well, of course, because of all of that texture, so I just went ahead and let that dry. Once it was dried, I took my rigger brush and some white ink, acrylic ink, and went through and just followed along and traced all of the veining of the leaf. It got a little lost in the print, which was totally fine, but I had a couple of ideas for something that I might want to do with some color on top there. And if you're going to put one color on top of something, a white background is always going to make it stand out a little more. So that was my thought process for putting these white veins down, and it worked out pretty well in the end. Now, having said that, I would be completely lying to you if I said that every single thing I did to this piece in this video was thought out ahead of time and on purpose. It definitely was not, and I am an intuitive artist, which typically means that I don't start out with much of an idea, but a lot of the things that I was coming up with as ideas as I went weren't really giving me the results that I wanted. So a lot of what you're going to see in this video is me reacting to, I don't want to say mistakes, but reacting to results that I wasn't 100% satisfied with, and coming up on the fly with ways to fix them, deciding exactly what it was that I didn't like, and trying to find a way to make it more pleasing and more in line with what I was envisioning in my mind. There's nothing wrong with making art that way. In fact, I often find that I get really great results doing that, and I absolutely love the way this turned out in the end. You'll have to let me know what you think, but yeah, there's a couple points here where I was just like, wow, that's just not playing the way that I thought it would, and how can I make it do what I'm seeing in my mind? So I'll let you know when those moments come up. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to do here, and this actually did work out the way I wanted, I'm making a little bit of a glaze with matte medium and Liquitex titanium white. And again, I'm doing that to put over top of the leaf. I wanted it to be a little on the lighter, whiter side so that when I add color to it, you're going to be able to see the color better. I don't want the whole thing to be entirely white, so you're going to see here that I'm adding that glaze over it, adding some water, using a paper towel to pick some of it up, and just kind of, I wanted it to be a better surface to accept a color, because if I just went and put another color on top of that black print, it wasn't going to give the impact that I had in mind. And incidentally, you can use either matte or gloss gel medium to change the opacity of any of your acrylic inks. It works very nicely, and I do this all of the time. So you can see there, it's not, titanium white is a very opaque color, but if you add a little bit of this medium to it, it definitely will translucify a little bit, if that's a word. If not, it is now, because that's what it did. One nice benefit to having gone over this whole thing ahead of time with the matte medium is you saw I had a little bit of white paint there that in a place that I didn't want. You can just dampen a towel and that'll wipe right off for you because you have that acrylic base down there. Just a little tip that I'm sure most of you already know, but just in case you don't, when you have that down there, it's kind of a way to plasticize the surface so it makes it wipe right off. Okay, so here's where things started to go a little bit squirrely. I have these distress oxides, and the reason why I used those rather than just acrylic ink is because the colors were what I was thinking in my mind. I just sprayed those in a little plate and added some water so that I could almost treat them like watercolor and do a design on the top, or not a design, but do a layer of color on the top there. My thought process here was there was a lot of that reddish brown in the background, and I wanted some contrasting colors. It wasn't that I necessarily wanted the leaf to be green because it was a leaf. It was more about the contrasting colors, and that was just kind of like a happy little accident. And it doesn't look terrible, but I don't know exactly what I was thinking. But the more of this that I got on there, the less I liked it. I mean, it was okay, but it just really wasn't doing it for me. So, and I knew that actually when I first started putting it on that first leaf, but I was already into it. So I'm already kind of thinking in the back of my mind, what is it that I don't like about this and what can I do to fix it? But I wanted to make them both the same so that when I came up with a solution, they were going to look the same because it's supposed to be the same leaf, just cut in half. So I did go ahead and finish applying all of the color there that I had, and I figured I would wait till they dry and look at them and see what maybe needed to be done. So I figured out what was bothering me was that there was just too much of a contrast between the background and the leaf. They were just a little too bright, and I was trying to add some more of the distress ink because that's what I was going with there in some shades of brown. I think that's a dark walnut that I'm using there. And I like the way it's working, so I just kept adding layers of that and kind of just blending it in so that it wasn't super dark. I didn't want it to be exactly the same as the background, but I did want to tone down that brightness and intensity of the blue and green just a little bit. And I think that gave me just what I needed to be able to be happier with the leaf on top of that background. Or so I thought, because when it dried here, you can see it's really kind of just bright again, and I'm still thinking in the back of my mind, what do I want to do? But I did know that I wanted to outline some of it with charcoal pencil, so I started to, but it wasn't quite dry. So what I did end up doing was getting some of my golden acrylics, nickel azo gold, watering that down a little bit and going over the leaf with that color. And that was pulling up enough of those tones from the background into it that it made me happy. You can see there when that dried, that's much more toned down. I lost a lot of the bluish green, but a little bit of it was still peeking through, and that was just about perfect. So I have my charcoal pencil, I've got everything dried there, and I'm going to outline both of these leaf halves there. I just want to do a little bit of dimensionality, and once I get everything outlined, I'm just taking my thumb and softening those edges there. And I really like the way that looks already. It's looking so much better than it was before. Just adding a little more dimension here and there. And then I am going to go in and work on shading in some of the veining. Well, actually in all of the veining. I want to add a little more dimensionality to that too. So I'm taking the charcoal pencil and following the shapes that are inside of the veins there and creating intense shadow where it would make sense that it would be. And what that's doing is creating those recessions. It's making the background look recessed, and therefore by doing that, it's making the white veining very prominent. And that's how a leaf would actually look, because those veins are more on the top of the surface of the leaf, and the background there is going to appear recessed and therefore darker. So I went in and did that with both of the leaf halves, and I am already becoming very pleased with what's going on with these. I'll just let you watch me work here for a moment. So ultimately, I think I found solutions to all of the visual problems that I was finding with this piece. I'm really happy with the way it turned out, and this is how it looked at the end for you. But thank you so much for joining me on this creative journey. Art is difficult sometimes, and sometimes it can be a process. And I would like to say this was one of those trust the process pieces, and I had a plan in my head from the beginning, but I definitely didn't. and you got to see some of my process of what I do when I encounter challenges in my work. I hope that gives you some ideas for if you encounter challenges in your own work, and I want to thank you all for joining me today. If you like what you saw, give me a thumbs up, and if you haven't had a chance yet, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I put out a new video every single Friday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, and I look forward to seeing you again next week. Have a great one.